Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to Season 3 of the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone Puzzle Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and pregnancy, an integrative, holistic nutritionist, doctor of natural medicine and training, creator of the Hormone Puzzle Method, an infertility warrior, two-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really just any symptoms of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly as we interview amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're beginning your journey or you've been struggling for years, we're going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Not to mention, stay pregnant, have a healthy super baby, and easy postpartum. Are you ready? This season is packed with even more expert guests, sharing groundbreaking knowledge, giving you that jolt of energy that you so desperately need, sending you lots of virtual hugs, and inspiring you to take your fertility into your own hands and make that baby. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being amazing listeners. So now let's get started on your road to transformation. On today's show, we have Catherine Gagnon. She is an emotional alchemist, a mind-body healing practitioner, and master NLP transformational health coach who works with people who are tired of being tired and worried. She can hear, see, and feel the emotional and physical energy leaks in people and helps them to plug these leaks. As a result, her clients regain sustained physical and emotional energy, recover faster from illnesses, attain mental clarity, self-confidence, feel more at peace with themselves, and have happier relationships. On today's show, we're talking all about energy medicine and your fertility, as well as how energy medicine can optimize your overall health and vitality. Now, let's welcome my friend Catherine to the show. Hey, Catherine, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Kayla. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. We haven't talked about energy medicine a whole lot, and I'm so excited to talk about this. So let's dive into it. Tell us a little bit more about you and how you started working with women's health, with Lyme disease, with energy, all of it.
Well, I come from the medical world. So I used to work in ER and then became a nurse practitioner, and just my own journey in this realm. Very, very early on, I realized that medicine had separated the body and the mind. And yet I was there working in ER, running everywhere, but yet realizing that people were not just sick in their body, but their mind had something to do with it. You know, and if I can give like a really quick story, it usually puts it in perspective. I had this woman in triage and she was having some chest pains, which usually we think about, well, she's having a heart attack. And, you know, I did the electrocardiogram and the vital signs and went to show it to the doctor to see if she was going to be something that needed to be attended quickly. And it didn't seem to be cardiac. So I came back and I continued to assess her. And I just asked her a question. I said, because, you know, heart and stomach is kind of in the same place. And I said, what is it in your life that you're not digesting? And meaning not food wise, but event wise. And she started crying and she said, you know what, Catherine, she says, my mother has Alzheimer's. And for the first time ever, she doesn't recognize me. And I can't take it. I can't digest this. And so she had space to just express that and feel her emotions. She went back to the waiting room. 10 minutes later, she knocks on my triage door and she says, Catherine, pain is gone. That's what I needed. I'm not going to take someone else's place to see the doctor. I'm just letting you know. Thank you. I'm going to leave and go home. And then I was like, wow, there's something with this body and mind connection from the get-go. And yet I pursued my studies as a nurse practitioner, and I really felt the frustration of the medical structure did not allow me to practice in the body-mind realm of what's called kind of more invisible, that creates psychosomatic illnesses and most of degenerative illnesses, chronic illnesses. And I've always been somebody who's very intuitive and spiritual, attracted by the invisible. I did some Reiki courses when I was younger. So to me, it wasn't compatible with staying in the medical world. And what gave me the push to get out was a full-blown Lyme disease in 2016. And I saw firsthand that by me trying to force myself in a system with which I was no longer resonated, I was getting sicker. And when I decided to leave the job, which took me 4 months of arguing with my own, inner voice, I experienced quantum leaps in healing. Like I healed from chronic Lyme in ways that are unheard of. And now doing a PhD in natural medicine with Quantum University with you, what's so much fun is we get to learn about the connection between the mind and body, and how when there's a lack of connectivity or no coherence, well, that's a sure pathway to illness, to dis-ease, symptoms, if it's not yet the full-blown illness. And we are made of energy. We are made of vibration. You do electroencephalogram. You see the brain waves. You see the waves of the heart. I mean, we are energy beings. So it makes so much sense to reconnect the body and the mind and to use energy medicine. That's actually been used for thousands of years, except for the little 200 years pause that we've just had. So yeah, that's a bit of my story.
I love that. And I love this conversation so much because I feel like it fits so well with what I see with my fertility clients, how there's a disconnect between the mind and body. And fertility is not just physical. And that's what I try to teach. It's mental, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's all of it. And it's our energy being. Yes. And so I love this conversation so much. So thank you for sharing that story. That is amazing. And I want to talk a little more about energy medicine. This whole show is about this for today. And why do you think that that's not being pulled into Western medicine? And why do you think we've gotten so far away from what we've been doing for thousands of years in medicine?
Well, it's an interesting conversation, especially from me coming from the Western medical world. But, energy medicine, when you think about it, it's the medicine of the past. It's the Ayurveda that's been around for 5,000 years. It's traditional Chinese medicine that's been around for 6,000 years. And the Greeks have been doing it for 4,000 years. Mm-hmm. So it's both the medicine of the past and the medicine of the future, as we are now being able to explain what's happening in the invisible through quantum physics and neurosciences. I think it's, Kayla, I'm sure you're going to share this feeling that it is such an exciting time to be alive right now, because we have scientific explanations for things that have been done for thousands of years without rational explanation. And unfortunately, there's been a gap in medicine, like I said, for the past 200 years, where about 200 years, where conventional medicine just took over all the cares, using pharmaceuticals and surgeries and discrediting anything that didn't have studies to prove it. And I won't go into the full story, but it was, in the late mid 1800s to late 1800s in the United States. It was 3 gentlemen who went around all the medical schools, and they closed all the medical schools that were teaching chiropractic, natural, practice, homeopathy, herbs, and all of that was put to the realm of quackery. And they kept only the schools that were teaching pharmaceuticals, surgery, chemotherapy, radiation for cancer. And we are still today living the consequences of that. But unfortunately, conventional medicine is a great paradigm for what we would call the war zone medicine. It's like, okay, go to the ones who can survive and go quickly to save a leg and save a heart. but it's not a paradigm that is adapted to any illness that is chronic, psychosomatic, degenerative, that doesn't necessarily threaten your life, but it sure ruins your quality of life. So, and it's a whole paradigm that's been ingrained, but I see now and now more and more people asking for mind-body medicine. They want to take responsibility for their health more and more, rather than just take a pill to silence a symptom. They want to go to the root cause, and which is why it's so much fun to have quantum physics and neurosciences that are explaining in scientific terms what conventional medicine can understand now. It's those ancient wisdom sciences being explained. And I think one of the most revolutionary thing I've learned in the last few months is that 99.9% of our reality is invisible, according to quantum physics, right? So the material, the matter that we see is like 0.1%.
Yes.
So there is something to be said about the energy, and we can feel it. We can feel the energy, the vibe of someone. If you're next to someone with a low vibe, you can feel that. Someone who's got a good vibe, you're like, oh, I want what you're having for breakfast, right?
Yes.
We can feel this energy. So hopefully with more and more studies, conventional medicine will pick up the pace on being more all-inclusive of mind-body medicine, energy medicine, and all of its, alternative, which are in my book, not alternative, but
right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about energy leaks and how to plug these. What does that mean? How do we do that?
So energy leaks are very real, but they are mostly subconscious. And I'm going to give you some examples of energy leaks. Most of them happen in the mind. There are some energy leaks in the body. If you have food allergies and you're eating the bad stuff, if you've got immune activation, if you've got pain, that's big energy leak. If you just have bad habits of not eating well, not exercising, not sleeping well, it's energy leaks in the body. But most energy leaks are in the mind. And it's something, for example, like you're comparing yourself to other people and feeling less than, or you're feeling the imposter syndrome, or you're being overly severe or critical of yourself. I should have done better. I should have known better. Oh, I'm such an idiot for doing this or that, this or that. It's being perfectionist. It's never good enough. It's saying yes to someone or circumstance, but in your heart it says no. So it's like you're stepping on your own truth. You can't express your true desires, or you can't express authentically who you are. You're holding yourself back from expressing yourself. And harboring a mindset of lack of time, lack of money. I think a lot of people are living with that. So a mindset of lack is a huge energy drain, because everywhere you look, there's lack, right? And big emotions, like heavy emotions such as anger and shame and guilt and fear and sadness and regrets, all of these things that most times have not been dealt with, and people are carrying that. It's like, imagine that you're just carrying this big bag of potatoes or rocks, and these are energy leaks because they're just draining your vital energy. So how do we plug these energy leaks, which is the interest of the question? First is to become aware of them. Awareness is the first step in any transition or transformation or healing that we do. It's to become aware of them and to just really be honest with yourself. What is it that you're tolerating in your life? What is it that's making your life miserable? What is it that you feel this tear in your gut when you're saying something, or you're saying yes and then you're feeling this, those are all signs that are energy leaks, that you are giving, just losing your precious energy. So awareness is the first step. The second step is transformation, and it requires to have specific tools, which we do in transformational coaching. and afterwards, when the client learn about these tools, they can apply these tools with themselves. And one of the things that I like is, when your mind is going towards like a worst case scenario, I like to say, not true. Like, this is just mind stuff, but it's not true. It's like pattern interrupting. So that it's like you close the faucet on this leak. And so it's awareness, transformation, and it brings you back to wholeness. Eventually, what was leaking your energy becomes one of your greatest asset, one of your greatest leverage point to bring you forward. So let's say you were somebody who was pleasing everybody all the time and you got sick because of multiple things. But when you learn to put yourself first, then your body is like, oh, human, I can trust you that if I give you your health back, you're not going to throw me back into the situation that got me sick in the first place. So there you go. And it brings you back to wholeness. And it teaches you, like it taught me with Lyme disease, that I had to stop trying to please everybody and put everybody's needs before mine, just because it was so detrimental for me. So that's the process. I sounds a little bit simplistic, but it's not that hard, to be honest. So.
Yeah. And I love that. And I find a lot of times, and I'm sure you see this too, but the more we live in that energy leak state, the more we're like, especially with my fertility clients, they'll come to me, this doesn't work. I've tried so many things. Like, I'm never going to be pregnant. And there's this very negative pattern loop. So it's almost like they're creating their physiology and their biology based around how their neurons are linked together in their brain in this negative pattern loop, this energy leak. And so first, recognizing that you're doing that and then working on the transformation with the tools that we just talked about is key, and really optimizing your overall health and, mind, body, spirit. So I love that. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Every cell in your body hears your thoughts and your words. Mm. And every cell in your body will align with what your thoughts and your words are saying it to do. Oh, it's hard. Oh, it's not working. Your cell is like, oh yeah, it's not working. And it's going to just feed you back that result. Right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And so let's take a minute. We do have to take a short break here in just a second, but I want to touch on something that I feel is very important, and it's the 5 bodies of consciousness. Mm-hmm. And, this is kind of a new concept for some people, because we live in this materialistic world. We live in this medical model, Western medicine model world, where they teach us that matter and your physical is the first place where we start. It's where disease starts. But really, it goes from a top down, where it starts in our consciousness and our mental. So talk to me about that briefly. I know we could spend a whole show on 5 bodies of consciousness, but really briefly, like, what is that and how do we start to tap into these?
I love the 5 bodies of consciousness. It just put everything on a map, because like we said, the matter is just 0.1% of reality. All of you is not in your physical body. So this quantum model, it's acknowledging how health happens on a multidimensional way, and each layer informs the one below, like you said. So we have a tendency to think that everything happens in the physical body, but that's actually the end result. Above that, we got the vital body, which is where your vitality, your energy is being depleted or replenished. And above that, we have the mental body, which is the seat of all of your thoughts and your emotions, your thinking that will create your vitality in your physical body below. And then above that, you got the supramental, which is the seat of subconscious and different archetypes that we embody in our life. And this is where, when we reprogram subconscious beliefs, we go right there in the supramental. It's like we have a direct access to if you were to think about a computer, we just go into the hardware. Right, exactly, right there. And above it all, it's the all-encompassing, the bliss body that the Tibetan we're calling the rainbow body. It's, if you will, somebody's aura, but it's really the result of their overall vibe that we can feel human to human, but we can now see it. We can see it with different devices that informs the distribution of the color and the energy in the body. And I think that's super, super exciting. And just quickly, one of the things I really love about the 5 bodies of consciousness is because each modality, whether you're taking Ayurvedic herbs that rejuvenate the vital body, or you're doing neurolinguistic programming that reprograms the mental body, the modality is mapped on these 5 bodies of consciousness so that you actually have a roadmap and you understand what you're doing influences what, when. And it's awesome because then you can just try the modalities that you resonate with and see what works. But I think it's brilliant.
I love it. I love it. And this is something that you and I both as practitioners tap into with our clients. So definitely if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't even know where to start, you want a practitioner like Catherine or I. So I love it.
Totally.
And we're going to take a short break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We're going to come back and we're going to talk practical tips. What are maybe your top 5 things for helping us to optimize our fertility hormones and our overall energy health? So we'll be right back. Hey y'all, it's Coach Kayla here. I hope you are loving this episode as much as I am. We will be back in just a minute, but first, a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Hormone P.U.Z.L.E Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching. Whether you're struggling to get pregnant with pesky hormone symptoms, or you're working to build a career in the fertility and women's health space, we have you covered. Visit our website at www.coachkayla.com to learn more on how we can help you. Text the keyword fertility to 615-257-8855 for your free fertility meal plan. Hey, Catherine, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
So let's talk practical tips. What are your top 5 tips for optimizing our fertility hormones and energy?
Yes. Well, one of the first thing is that when the body is stressed out and is leaking energy, the last thing it wants to do is reproduce itself. And I've experienced this firsthand when I was sick with Lyme disease and my cycles went to like 70 days. I was like, woo, yes, when the body's under attack, reproduction is a luxury.
Right.
You know? Oh. Yes. So, and maybe some people don't resonate with the word stress, but it might be tension, or if you feel not at peace, you know, in your mind, or a lack of coherence. So there's just different ways of putting, you know, the word stress. So 5 tips is the first one, like we just discussed with the energy leaks, is to know yourself. Find out your sources of energy leaks by really paying attention of how you feel in different circumstances, how you feel when you eat certain foods, or how you have certain exercise or sleep patterns. But it's mostly in social interactions. That is where the majority of the sources of stresses are. Second tip is to learn to say no so you can say yes to yourself. That is so important.
Yes.
And again, with the same, in the same spectrum of releasing tension, is notice where you're not feeling seen, heard, or understood, and seek to remedy that, especially in your relationships. I cannot stress that enough. That's where most of our stress occurs, and that's where most of our benefits occurs in our social interactions. So it's worth examining. The 4th tip is to get some help to do some emotional alchemy, which to me is one of the most powerful tools to find lightness and to liberate your body of heavy weights. And what do I mean by emotional alchemy? It's those emotions, like the heavy emotions, anger, sadness, shame, guilt, those emotions that are dragging you back. With emotional alchemy, you get to transform them into light, into gold, and they become the leverage, the asset that pulls you forward. It becomes your precious treasure. It sounds weird to put it that way. And
get help from someone with the tools to guide you effectively and with precision. And I would say someone who is familiar with quantum physics and the law of attraction, because that has a big role to play in your health. And, you know, Kayla, we know this from Quantum University, but really I came to realize that quantum physics is to science what the law of attraction is to spirituality. It's the same. It's just different words. And the main thing is to align our vibration with what we want instead of what we don't want. And so to use the principle of I'll see it in my physical world when I believe it, instead of, oh, I'll believe it when I see it, which is kind of how Western medicine is rigged up, right? So for someone's health, instead of focusing on what's wrong and not working and creating more of that, you know, the more we focus our attention on that, the more we expand the problem. The idea is to use what's not working to say, what do I want instead? And it requires the help of someone, because most of us are unaware that we're doing, you know, we're focusing on the wrong thing. But having a coach or someone who's like, hey, what do you want to experience instead? And then it's like a 180-degree compass, and you focus on that. You know, recently, one of my clients who suffers from Lyme disease, she's had some relapse of symptoms, and she was telling me how horrible this and that, and she had numbness in her legs and all that. And I said to her, okay, now you're observing this, but you know that if you keep focusing on that, it'll bring more of that. It'll amplify the numbness and the pain in your legs. So here's the kind of reverse psychology, is focus on what you want to create. Oh, my legs are feeling so vital. I feel complete control of my legs. I feel so good. I feel the blood, the circulation is normal. And I said to her, if that's too far for your brain to fake it or make it, take it a step back and say, you know what? It'll be nice when I feel better in my leg. It'll be nice when I figure this out. It'll be nice when my, the circulation in my legs is better. Already, that is focusing more in the direction of where you're going rather than focusing on the problem, because it won't go away by focusing more on it. It's the opposite. Yeah.
And your brain will start to hear that. The more you say, like, I've got numbness in my legs and pain, then your brain hears numbness, pain, and that's what you get. Instead of, like what you said, I'm working to fix this. I'm working to alleviate this. My legs feel good and vital. And so then that's what your brain hears. Legs feel good. Legs feel vitality. Legs are strong. And then that's what you get. So it's really is a mind shift, and it's so amazing.
And like Joe Dispenza says, if you combine an elevated emotion with a clear intention, meaning you have the intention of, let's say, this example of my legs being in full motion, and you bring the emotion, and it might require that you remember a last time that your legs were in full motion, but you bring that elevated emotion with that clear intention, the brain doesn't make the difference between something that's actually happening in your body or something you're creating in your senses. It will send the message to the genes, you're going to signal new genes to express proteins that are healthy and that are aligned with the vibration of what you're creating in your mind. It's that powerful.
It's amazing. I'm in the process of his book, You Are the Placebo. Oh, yeah. It's such a great book. Yeah. I can't put it down.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little more about that. You know, how quantum physics and the law of attraction really influences your overall health and vitality.
It really does. And this is something that I've noticed for myself. You know, let's say a certain morning, if I'm waking up and not so rested, instead of saying, oh, I'm so tired today, I'll tell myself throughout, you know, I'm brushing my teeth and I'm telling myself, I feel so good today. My body is vital. I feel strong. My energy is getting rejuvenating. My body knows what to do. And it just, bam, it turns things around. It's the same thing with anything you want to attract in your life. Your soulmate, more abundance, new opportunities.
Your baby.
Your baby, exactly. And I'm imagining that with your clientele, with your audience, Kayla, that if people have tried a lot of things, it might be difficult to imagine the baby growing in there and to really believe it. which is why it's so important to have a coach, someone who's skilled at accessing your limiting beliefs subconsciously, transforming that which has been holding you back. And, for me, I take people back in their like infancy or even in previous lives or generational, to find out the root of where a certain belief or a certain hardship has been imprinted and it is replaying itself, And all of a sudden, when that is relieved, then it becomes easier to just be like, yeah, it is done. It's there. It's just a matter of time. And with quantum physics and the law of attraction, we know that it takes only 68 seconds to, if you look at the field of all possibilities, quantum physics says the observer will bring in something to mind, so we'll observe the field, which will collapse into matter because you're activating the quantum field. It takes only 68 seconds to activate the quantum field to collapse into matter. So it's hard to argue with 68 seconds per day of practicing that,
Right. And to go back to, I completely agree. Bringing in somebody that's qualified to help, a coach, a practitioner, because sometimes when you're in it, you can't see it. It's like you're so close to what's happening and you get into this mindset of, I've tried everything. I've done that. It's not working. Whereas myself or yourself as the observer can look in and say like, this is what we see because we're not in it. We can see more clearly and Absolutely. You can just get your results faster and easier. So I love that. I love that you said that. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So where can we find you? Where can we learn more about working with you?
Yes, well, I'm on all social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's Catherine Gagnon, Transformational Coach. I'm also on LinkedIn, and my website is www.catherinegagnon.ca. I'm going to spell it. So CATHERENEGAGNON.ca, and it's a bilingual website, so you just click on English.
Amazing. And we'll have that in the show notes, so it'll be really easy to find.
Yes, and I'm offering free monthly master classes on quantum health where we, if you dig this conversation, I'm going deeper with bringing some teachings from Quantum University and Siddha Veda course that I'm doing, which is a branch of Ayurveda. So that's completely free, and we can put the link to register for that in the show notes as well.
For sure. I love that. And I recently attended one of your classes and it was amazing. So ladies, everybody who's listening, you definitely want to attend one of her classes because it was truly, truly amazing. Awesome. Well, before we go, I would love any final thoughts, any words of encouragement or piece of wisdom you want to leave us with?
Yes. So first thing is you are not an illness and you are not defective. Anything is possible as the frontier of medicine are constantly being pushed back, especially with quantum physics. And just to give you hope, I've heard of women getting pregnant even after their menopause had set in for 2 years because they wanted to have a child so badly. And the only problem they had was they had no boyfriend or husband, so they just went to, a donor bank, but they were able to get pregnant even after they had gotten into menopause. So ladies, everything is possible. And you all deserve to have a life that you love.
I love that. Amazing. Well, Catherine, it's always so fun to talk to you. Thank you for being here.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me, Kayla.
And thank you, ladies, for listening to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hang on just 1 second. Before you go, I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at CoachKayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. Make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.